Hello everybody, I am back from Mr. Daly's house, and today we're going to be looking at the Creator Series clips from the Zandvoort reverse race, which was a race of bottles. You will not believe how many bottles there are in this upcoming clip book. You just wait and see, you got to count them. Right, can't wait for Adam's clips. Oh, there's going to be so many of Adam, absolutely monumental about Adam. So, this is starting in quali. You know, obviously GB and Ben were sharing a rig, so they were taking it in turns in quali.
I'm blocking out, I just realised.
And GB spins there,
look back at the
get away. He then goes, where's the track map? And to be fair to him, look at the track map. Why is it there, Ben? He doesn't even use the bottom left part of the screen. Like, why has he moved it up there? I don't know why he's done that, but it also means you can't see turn one of this particular track. So GB just had to guess that there was no one there. And unfortunately, there was.
Oh my... Ben, I can't see the track map, the one place I needed to see.
Amazing. Thankfully, Super Noodle took it quite well. He definitely could have been more annoyed because he DNF'd. He completely DNF'd out of quali. But they were just in the middle of the track.
I thought they were going to be see-through.
He took it quite well. With hindsight, he could have gone the other way, but yeah, hindsight's one thing. And this is Adam, then straight into Adam's clip, and this is the one and only clip of Adam. What I found in the race is when you go really high up the banking, it's just way bumpier, and you bottom out like mad. You have no downforce, and you go into the wall. It happened to me in this race. You'll see the clip later on. But Adam doesn't go that wide, but he still goes just wide enough. I think here he starts bottoming out, and the car just doesn't turn, and boom, that's it. He's out. Brutal. And that wall, I mean, this is sort of a... I like this element of reverse tracks, and they haven't made them what would, you know, be required if you do this in real life. And this is actually a fantastic example of why you can't run reverse tracks in real life. Because look, there's this barrier just completely sticking out, and it deletes him. And I feel for him, honestly. He spent about 2 hours setting up his rig in the living room. You may have seen it on a YouTube short or Instagram or TikTok.
I didn't know there was a wall there.
What do you mean?
I didn't know there was a wall there. Acting as if like the wall was in the middle of the track or something. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, I feel for him just because he spent so long setting up. But I was absolutely gutted for him. But yeah, anyway.
There's Adam just...
Just pure laughter. To be fair, so it's him he's side by side with, look. But I mean, GB couldn't have left him more room if he tried, honestly. He's right to the inside, and Adam just sort of disappears. And then we've got the first drive-through. There's a couple of drive-throughs in this race. This one's for JD. Now, unfortunately, he just misjudges this, really. I mean, it clearly says there, hindsight's a wonderful thing when you're racing. When you're racing, there's a lot going on. Maybe he's looking at his damage. Maybe he's trying to check chat. There's a lot of things going on. But clearly, we can see from this still, virtual safety car ending. He then accelerates too much, goes under his delta. Doesn't really react to it. In fact, it accelerates to over a second under his delta and gets penalty. The most deserved drive-through I've ever seen in my life. I do think it could be less. I do think it would be good if they dropped like a 5 or 10 second penalty for this rather than a full drive-through. Drive-through seems quite harsh. But if it's drive-through in real life, it kind of is what it is. Just a brain fart. Got a bit distracted and give himself a drive-through. RIP. Now, the first of many Vince and Rajin side-by-sides. And those two were loving battle into this corner. The inside line was definitely smoother, so you're able to carry a bit more speed on the inside line. And Vince sends it around the outside there. Dips well into the grass, as you often do that. But Razin, as always, will never back out. So holds it on the outside here.
Oh, it's very good side by side.
Just about leaves him enough room.
Oh, top 97's up to the scene, though.
And he's got the DRS. He's going to go right on the outside. Gives him plenty of room. Move not done. There's still side by side.
Oh, this is a beautiful race on the Vince run out.
Surely backs out now. No. Oh my god, he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. It's Razin. Oh, bit of a squeeze is okay. And okay, now we're back out.
We're going to have to concede here, I think.
Yeah, now he backs out. Fair play. Fair play to both of them. Beautiful racing. These two were at the very front for pretty much the entire race. And it's good that we got that kind of battling at the front because I was not up there. Okay, let's see this overtake by Fabio. Was it as clean as the other one? That's right. I just remembered. It's the triple overtake by Fabio. So there's one. You won't believe there's two more, but there is two more. I think someone goes off here. Yep, someone goes off here. That's Matty. So there's two. Or going to be two. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's two. And then Test Will. Up the inside. Outbreaks him. Gets it stopped. 3 overtakes in half a lap. Well, more or less a lap, actually. Just like that. Fabio loving it. Fair play, Fabio. Obviously, one of them was a bit of a freebie, but other than that, a couple of good moves there. Now, Scott moment. What's this one? I have watched all these this week, but I can't remember what this is. Oh, yes. Yes, this is quite funny. So, Scott at the beginning, very beginning of this, says this.
I may be able to get Gellen.
I might be able to get Gillon. And he's sort of giggling about it. He's absolutely loving it. And then 2 corners later, what does he do? It's not get me. Spoilers. It's been it into the wall. So much for might be able to get me, eh, Scott? Okay, then we've got a Gillon moment here. Now, this is one of my mistakes. And this is what I was talking about earlier with Adam. And this is when I did it. Now, actually, I think I was fortunate that I did this in practice. So I knew that there was no grip out there. Did that stop me doing it in the race? No, it did not. I forgot in the race. But then as soon as I did it, you see me intake a breath there. As soon as I do that, I think, oh no, I'm going to be in trouble here. Because look, I'm basically touching this wall and there's no grip. There's this whole sort of top lane here. It's just too bumpy. There's no grip with a decent setup. And look, I'm turning, I'm lifting, and I just can't keep out of the wall.
No, I forgot. It's too bumpy.
There's nothing I can do. I'm in the wall now. I actually thought I reacted better on this. If you look, my inputs, I don't even really brake. I'm steering. I'm trying to get off the wall, but I'm a bit of a passenger at this point. But I should have at least braked to try and get myself off the wall. Fortunately, the wall grinding allows me to slow down to under 200k, which is just enough for me to avoid the same wall that Adam was in. Very, very, very nearly binned it down. I'll play through it at full speed again.
No, I forgot. It's too bumpy up here. I put myself on the wall. It's just too bumpy. You can't.
So close. Very, very lucky to avoid the DNF there. And cost me a few positions, but no damage. Oh, my word. Cost me a few positions, but no damage at all. And unfortunately, Testable there just sort of bins it directly in front of me. So I think I sort of helped him into the wall there, but nothing I could have done. He just slid into me, and then there was a bit of contact, and he ends up in the wall. So yeah, that was my first whoopsie, and one of many, many bottles in this race. We've seen a few of them already. And now we've got Tom 97. I think this is also, I think this is a Tom 97 bottle as well, is it? Let's have a look.
It's so hot. My God, clean air is going to be so important here. Oh, no.
Yep. And lots of people did that. To be honest, I don't know if it's setup difference or what. I don't know how Tom 97 survived this. Look, he's completely on the curb, but somehow the car reacts just enough there that it allows him to get off the curb before he gets into that gravel up there, and he stays on track just long enough to only... Well, he just doesn't even hit the wall at all. So fair play to Tom there. Good driver. I don't know how he managed to do that, but more than them getting damaged, but still a bottle for sure. Scottie playing skate. Is this the same? This is probably the exact same thing, is it? Sure enough.
Oh my God.
And that is more like what happened to me, which we'll see in a bit. Ends up in the wall. And I don't know how the hell Tom avoided that happening to him, because it's pretty much the same. Let's have a look at it again. Well, I guess Tom actually went wider. I think that helped him. I think Tom went so wide that he's ended up going the other side of the curb, and that allowed him to get a bit of grip to be able to get off the curb. Whereas, yeah, he's just Scottie's just skating there. Now, another bottle. This is Matt 212 getting a drive-through. But to be fair, I don't think this one's his fault. So you see, we've got a VSC. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Matt is just his stream overlays are always just the worst stream overlays that you could possibly imagine having. But unfortunately, we can't see whether he's under his delta. But you can see by the fact that this appears, he's now under his delta. But this is where he gets unlucky, because if you look at the top left, the VSC turns to a full safety car, which, despite there being 11 seconds left on his timer, gives him a drive-through, which is obviously absolutely ridiculous. So basically what happens is when the safety car gets upgraded, it resets the delta. It acts as if the safety car just ended rather than got upgraded. And if you were under the delta, gives you a penalty, which is obviously absolutely ridiculous, but we're not expecting EA to do much about that, are we?
Hey.
But yeah, so unfortunate for Matt. You know, he shouldn't have been under the delta, but let's be honest, every single driver in the entire field dips under the delta at times. We all try and stay over it, but it's so slow at times. It's very easy to do. That definitely wasn't anything to do with Matt 212, so I do feel for him on that one. Then we've got Ricky in the gravel, apparently. Does he go skating as well? Yep. Copy-paste what saw Scottie. Ends up in the wall. Now, what is that? Just that one corner alone, including the banking, we've had Adam in there. We've had Tom 97 in there. We're counting that. We had Scottie in there, and now we've had Ricky in there. Is that all of them we've had so far? 4 people in the same sort of 2 corners in the wall. Unbelievable. And now we've got Scott in the gravel. This is from a battle there. Let's have a look at this one. This is a bit more in the middle of the track. Now, oh, I see. I remember this one. So, Concept does a nice send actually here on Scott. Gets to stop beautifully, doesn't hit into him. Nice send. Scott leaves in the room. Nice and fair. And there's still side by side in here, which is always dangerous. Unfortunately, Scott leaves the track. and then gets hit by Concept 7 into the wall. Now, I've got a few things to say about this. The first one is, hey, Scott, drive the car, bro. Why are your hands off the wheel and also your feet off the pedals? He's not braking or accelerating. If he drove the car, he probably wouldn't have ended up in the wall. Because he's too busy gesticulating, he's in the wall. Drive the car, Scott. Drive the car. Now, the other question is, was Chappers fair here? And in my mind, yes. Because, first of all, you've got a potentially dodgy rejoin. I don't think the rejoin's too bad because it's so obvious he's going to rejoin here. I mean, what's the alternative? He's just going to skate all around the gravel. It's not happening. So he's off here. He's always going to rejoin about where he rejoins. He stays quite far to the right. Look, it's not real life. It's not dangerous. I think this rejoin's fine. But if you do rejoin like this, you can maybe expect a collision. And maybe that's what happens. Because if you look where they do collide, there's sort of a car's width there, but Concept has definitely gone right a little bit, but he's got a guy off track beside him, so you wouldn't necessarily expect him to rejoin on the racing line. So again, nice send here. Right behind him, gets stopped beautifully, hits his apex, beautiful send up the inside now. Now here, I wondered if he hit Scott off. He doesn't. If you look, Scott just basically carries too much speed around the outside and it sort of accelerates off track. He leaves plenty of room for Scott. And then here he does go right a little bit, but if you look, he doesn't go all the way to the right. He's not like he's look where Chappers is. You want to be literally, when you've got the racing line, you want to be over to the right. He doesn't go that far over. He goes a little bit to the right and ends up in his contact and Scott ends up in the wall. To me, from Concept's POV, he does nothing wrong. Okay, now this is of the three people racing in the house, this is the second of the third people, second of the three people DNFing. And if you look, basically, right, GB and Ben were swapping in the middle part of the race. If you look, they're actually one lap later than the middle part. But Ben had to answer the door for some reason. I don't know why. There was other people in the house who could have answered the door, but Ben decided he had to answer the door. It is his house. And if you look, Ben's in the background lurking, waiting. He's waiting to get the rig. They're literally in half a lap, they're doing the driver swap. In half a lap. Down the pit straight is when they plan to do it. He's got the wheel in his hand. He's ready to go because they were doing a whole wheel rim swap for some reason. And unfortunately, just a matter of a few corners before GB's getting out of the car.
You're kidding me.
Look at his reaction. My favourite part, though, is Ben's reaction. Look at Ben. Look, he's literally stood there waiting. It happens. He just walks off. He's absolutely raging. He's absolutely raging. Now, obviously, this is just a bottle, but I noticed he was on hot lap mode, which I don't think he intended to be. So I think he had a bit more power than he expected to have. Obviously, tyres a bit worn as well, dirty air and rowdy. It's not obviously the main contributing factor is the fact that he's in an alien rig. Although he's done 30, probably 40 laps, including quali, he's just not used to the rig. Well, he also probably did 20 laps earlier in the day. He's just not used to the rig. So,
you're kidding me.
Yeah, unfortunate. And actually, he gets a little bit unfortunate the way he hits it, because I don't know what he could have done differently, but I think he could have done something different with his inputs there to avoid the wall. Because if you look, it started to come back round again. But right at that point, he hits the brake, which puts him into the wall. But I can't blame him for doing that. It's who knows what he could have done to improve it. But yeah, unfortunate. And you can see by his reaction, he's absolutely gutted. Ben didn't get to do a single racing lap in this race. And that's it. So, we got another bottle. Tom97 getting a drive-through. Now, is this going to be just like the one before, complete BS, or is this going to be fair? Let's have a look.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Right, according to Tom,
Through Tom.
It's glitched. It's glitched. It's glitched, man.
it's glitched.
Why did he give you 4?
Tom reckons it's glitched. Tom, it ain't glitched, buddy. It ain't glitched. He's under the delta. He's got 4 seconds to give it back. And doesn't do that. He accelerates into the pits. Timer goes to 0. He gets a drive-through.
Oh, boy.
Drive through Tom.
Completely fair enough. Just another Tom97 bottle. There's plenty of those to go around. Don't worry. Now we've got Razin versus Safo. And it's actually a really nice battle. So Razin, I think, has got fresher tyres at this point. He's certainly got mediums versus Safo's hards. So he tries him on the outside here. And Safo, by the way, has been super aggressive in this race. Really going for the moves. So Razin's held around the outside. He's not the inside, but Safo just stays alongside there. So Razin gives him a little bit of room, puts him slightly tight for the next corner. And Safo switches back into that pretty much flat-out corner. Genuinely, really nice switchback there from Safo. I've got to go on board with him for watch the rest, because there's an overtake later on that's going to become my overtake of the race, but this is very close to it, just because I didn't think a switchback was possible at this phase. I really didn't. Look, he's barely alongside him. Boom. Applies a zero angle, gets the exit, and he's up the inside again. Honestly, really, really nice. Especially he's probably had less grip than Razin at this point. And pretty much gets the move done, I think. Oh, no, wait. There's a bit of argy-bargy actually after this. So Razin now tries to, obviously, get him back. So he goes to the inside. Safo blocks that. Fair enough. So he goes to the outside. Then Safo does come over a bit on him. And that wasn't the best. That Safo, I do think Safo was a bit over-aggressive in this race. You can see Razin very reluctant to criticise Safo because he knows that Safo is an absolute angel. But they all survive, so it's all good. And Razin eventually gets through. Now, there's another bottle. This time it's me again. Yay, the same set of corners. Now, I avoid the wall on the outside this time, but I do what everyone else has done. Go skating. Boom. Into the wall. R.I.P. R.I.P. Exactly same thing. Else has done just a little bit too wide. I was actually putting a wheel on this curve for pretty much the entire race and completely fine. Just, I'm on a strange wheel, but there's nothing to do with that. Little brain fart, and I'm just skating. That's it. Now, there's been a comment about this rejoin. Now, this is an interesting one. It's definitely not an ideal rejoin. I think definitely some people think like, oh, that's a terrible, terrible rejoin. In my opinion, it's not too bad, purely because... Look where the racing line is, right? The racing line is here. So I don't rejoin onto the racing line, but obviously I am then going to end up being relatively slow on the racing line after I rejoin. So there, I'm back on the track now. I have rejoined the track. This is no longer a rejoin, but that's a technicality. So now I'm obviously just going to stay as right as I can and try and accelerate back up to normal racing speed. And unfortunately, Scott comes there right at the wrong time and ends up hitting me. I don't think it's that bad, because if you look, actually, annoyingly for Scott, the labels are right in the way, to be fair. So Scott actually cannot see me. I guess I'm up there, but I sort of blend in with the wall at this point. And then here now, the labels are in the way. He literally can't see me now, and he only sees me then. But if you look, Scott's actually, look, he doesn't lift at all. He's actually full throttle. And if you look, he's probably going to go in the grass here. He's probably about to dip a wheel into the grass. So, you can't blame Scott, but Scott made virtually no avoiding action whatsoever to avoid it. So I think it's one of those things. You can see that Ricky managed to avoid it, and Testable behind managed to avoid it as well. You can make up your own mind on that one. I don't think it's that bad. I think just Scott just chose not to react to stuff that was going on around him. Other people managed to, and that is what it is. Race ban? Yeah, fair enough. Get me gone. Season ban, in my opinion. Now, Vince loved going for a send into here. Goes a bit of send, and then... Is that Razin on his outside? That is Razin on his outside. And they go battle again. Brilliant. Now, Vince backs out of that in the end. That was actually a really nice move by Razin. Really opportunistic there. Vince bit held up by the car in front and just opportunistically goes around the outside. Unbelievable. The racing, I'm kind of sad it wasn't my home rig, because the racing apparently at this track was actually really nice. Really nice. Now, Razin slightly complains there, but I don't think he can complain about this. I think, look where he is before the corner. He's trying to go on the outside here. The odds of you getting run out into the grass are very, very, very high. So yeah, don't get me wrong, he's alongside enough for room, but Vince has just picked up dirty air by the fact that Kai's now on the apex, and Vince can't just suddenly, carry less speed and carry the right amount of speed for that amount of dirty air. So I think the contact there and being put off in the grass is completely understandable. I don't think that's I don't think he does anything wrong whatsoever there. That was an entirely predictable situation. And that's the key thing, is if it's a predictable situation and you end up getting nerfed off for it, well, you should have predicted it, buddy. Basically, simple as that. But I don't blame him for going for it, but it's not a surprise he gets hit off there. Then a little bit of a response here into the next corner. Definitely a bit of an aggressive send. Sends it in deep, but all good. A little bit of contact, but he hits the apex, so it's all good. Gets it stopped, gets P2. So good move in the end by Razin. Now we've got Razin and Kai battle. So this is for the lead of the race. Same move, Razin. Same move. Now this time is different in my opinion, because this time he's alongside before they turn in, before the braking zone. We know Razin's not going to back out. I think he deserves room here. And just about he gets given the room. Just about. Because if he's any further right here, he bottoms out. So this is very, very marginal. And if Kai pushes him 30 centimetres further right, Razin's in the wall and Kai's in big trouble. Because although he's league racing standards, you go, oh no, what is that? That was Razin's fault. But this is Create Series. You leave room when someone's alongside you. But just about he gets away with it. And then holds around the outside, but then there is a bit of contact. And you see Razin complaining a little bit about it. But this is a classic lag move. Kai lives in Canada. This is a classic lag move there. Bit of contact. And if you look, just before the secondary contact, there's a bit of initial contact there. Don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong because it's hard to judge perfectly millimeters at this speed. A bit of contact there, causes some oversteer, which pushes Razin off. Obviously, it doesn't look amazing from Razin's POV, but if you look at it from Kai's POV, he gets pretty late notice now of him being side by side and reacts quite quickly to it. Bit of contact there, but he's turning left the whole time. So I don't think Kai does anything wrong there, particularly. Then, there. It's not actually the curve that causes the slide, weirdly. It's the contact there when Razin hits him on the outside. It causes him to slide, and then he just oversees into him, gets exaggerated by the lag, and that's it. So not that deep, but honestly, Razin, if you had to blame somebody, blame, because nothing really happened, but if you had to blame somebody, it'd be Razin. Just for go for that unwise move, then causing a bit of contact around the outside, despite Kai being on the curb, and then the lag exaggerates the preceding slide, the following slide. But yeah, not that deep. It was nice racing overall, and it was status quo afterwards. And now we've got Safo having a crash, apparently. Let's have a look at this. What happens here? I've forgotten. Now, this is a weird one. This is a weird one, because he brakes too late, but normally he only brakes like 5 or 10 meters too late, and it's such a banked corner that normally the banking would save you. I think what happens here is he goes too straight. Look, he never really quite reaches the bank. I mean, down here it's really strong, and actually when you get there, the car kind of digs in, and the car just really rotates around the apex, right at sort of where the shadow is here. But because he's so wide, he's applying the lock trying to get down there, but he's so wide and brakes so late, he never really digs into the banking, so ends up right out and all the way into the wall. Doesn't DNF, and this actually caused a safety car, which I cannot believe. The amount of people we've seen in the wall in the race, we did have a couple of safety cars, but mainly from DNFs and stuff. I don't know why the hell the game decides that is a safety car, but the various other people that were in the wall wasn't a safety car. Full safety car immediately. Now we've got another bottle. There's so many bottles in this race, it's unbelievable. Another bottle. This time it's Kai. Pit entry, nicely over his delta, so taking no risks there, but for some reason, where is bro off to? We're under a safety car. You're in P3. Why the hell is he braking so late? I've got no idea. Where is he off to? And then hits the wall. What is bro doing? It's a bit dodgy. It is a bit dodgy. Going this wide and then coming back in. It's likely to cause a crash, etc. That's why the lines exist. But whatever. I would have done exactly the same, and I don't think he'd have got a penalty for it. And honestly, in creative series, I don't think he should have deserved a penalty for it anyway. But just leaves it too late and ends up in the wall. And then unfortunately, because he stopped in the pit lane, the game is very, very harsh on this. And just a couple of seconds later, boom, disqualified. Right for the podium. But yeah, as Razin was saying, Razin was literally, if you look before they come into the pits, look where Razin is. Razin's all the way here. Razin's already in the pit entry when these guys were only here. So Razin was going to win this race, guaranteed, nailed on win. But a classic creative series, a late safety car. It actually helped me for once, didn't shaft me for once, but yeah, unfortunately did end up shafting Razin. And then we've got another top 97 bottle. Honestly, this isn't a great POV, but I'll show this POV first anyway. Just catches the inside curb, gets a bit of oversteer.
I'm dead.
And then, again, because it's a reverse track, there's just a solid wall waiting for you. I don't know how he doesn't DNF. He gets lucky there, but regardless, it's only 4 laps to go, and he's now comfortably last place with no wings. So that was GG for Tom's race. But the better POV is actually Concept 7, who's the guy that's just behind him. And honestly, it's Tom just going for a stupid move. I mean, if you look here, Matty's a bit slow, but Tom just decides to send it up the inside here. Over-aggressive, honestly, is what that is. It's over-aggressive. And because Tom's panicky trying to leave him room, ends up getting on that curb a little bit. He's lucky that Matty goes so wide, essentially jumps out of his way because he's aggressive. Otherwise, with this snap reaction there, he would have taken Matty with him. So I'm glad that didn't happen. So just an over-aggressive send, honestly. And yeah, just makes a mistake in the wall. Another bottle. Another bottle. And then we got back 2-2. Another bottle. Pretty much completely on his own. Doesn't hit that curb, but it is still the same corner. Just skill issue.
You idiot. You absolute idiot.
Pure skill issue. He calls himself an idiot, rightly so. Obviously, he just makes a small mistake by hitting the inside curb, but then after that, it's a skill issue here. He then corrects, puts himself in the gravel, but now right at this moment, he's got it sorted, but then he hits the gravel, turning too far left, ends up spinning because of that.
You idiot.
Skill issue.
You
just many skill issues in one spin. What do you think of that about that rejoin, chat? Well, if you thought mine was bad, what do you think about that one? That's literally sideways with 0 speed across the racing line. That one's, in my opinion, a bit worse, but also is just fine. I don't think it matters because I don't know, it's quite obvious he's there. This track's wide enough for people to avoid him, as Safo just about does. And Ricky even more so, but does just about manage to avoid him. And then everyone else goes to the left of him, and it's all good. But not the best rejoin there, but also, yeah, I think it's fine. And then unfortunately for Matt, we've got another bottle that wasn't his fault, but it does absolutely shaft him. So Scott there sends it on Super Noodle, gets it a little bit wrong, and then gets it wrong again, and takes out both Ferraris.
What are you doing, man? What?
The amount of bottles in this race, man, even for Creator Series, even by Creator Series standards, the amount of bottles in this race was absolutely insane. It's quite impressive, to be honest. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And both Ferraris firmly in the mud. But let's end on a positive note, shall we? Let's end on a positive note. Wait, there's a grass overtake here. Hold on. Razen's got an honorary clip mention. Let's watch this first. This is Razen on me. This is why I wanted me to see it then.
Gap to your teammate behind, 15.5 seconds.
Grass. Oh my god. That's how
Puts
much
himself on the
space I had to
grass.
give.
Yeah, fair play, Razen. Honestly, I there was no contact, but I wouldn't say I squeezed him because I'm pretty sure I left him a card if he chose to go on the grass just to leave as much room as he can. But with what happened to me early in the race, I was so scared of going high and bottoming out and ending up in the wall. I was like, I don't want that to happen. So I wasn't as high as otherwise would have been. So I was lower than I would have normally been, but I don't think it affected things. But I was definitely, yeah, lower than he perhaps expected. But anyway, let's end on a wholesome note. Check this out. This is Vince, who has never won a Creator Series race before, coming on to the final lap of the race in P2 with DRS, right behind Razen. Come on, Vince. What have you got?
Push, push.
Overtake of the race, obviously. What a move that is. He's never won a race before. The pressure's on. He's got the opportunity. It's the last lap of the race. He knows there's no real overtaking opportunities after this. Well, there's little ones, but this is definitely by far his best one. And also, he knows if he gets it done, that probably is going to be the win done. The pressure of that, having never won before, what a move this is. What a move this is. Fair play. Fair play to Raz as well for leaving plenty of room. Gets it stopped. Holds it on the outside. Doesn't go in the grass. Breaks late enough there to stop Razen going on the outside. So he's a little bit wide, but it stopped Razen holding it on the outside. He's now just got to get the exit, which he duly does. Floors the throttle there. Razen's got the DRS, but he's 2/10 back. He's just got to hold the inside. Now let's go on board with Razen for the next bit. This is Razen's POV of the first bit. So Razen perfectly holding it to the inside there. Beautiful room given. Tries to brake late, but Vince just brakes even later. Beautifully done. And now he's just trying to square it off, get the exit, and go. But the dirty air just can't quite get on the throttle as early as Vince can, but he's still got the DRS round the outside. He sends it on the brakes, but once again, Vince gets it stopped well. Raz actually turns it on him a little bit. And that is, I was going to say GG's. Raz went for it. I didn't watch this clip this long earlier on, but yeah. Vince holds the speed around the outside, so it was not all done, but Vince has now got the position. There's no more real overtaking opportunities with the battery that they've got. So then we round the final corner. That guy, Vince, having never won a race before, the beautiful last lap move, overtake the week comfortably for me. And he does it.
Yes! 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 We won the fucking Creator Series, boys! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Come on!
Absolutely love it.
Holy shit! Oh!
Team Radio.
Come on!
Noob Master 5000.
Love it. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about. Absolute elation. Thoroughly deserved as well. Beautiful win by Vince. And this is these guys' reaction. This is quite fun.
Come on, Vince!
They're gonna crash.
No, we're doing a little watch along.
They're gonna
Vince!
Come on! Come on! Wow! Yes!
Let's go! Come on, Vince!
Vince is gonna win!
One final clip of those guys reacting to him crossing the line, which is, again, is another real wholesome reaction, despite their race being mudded.
Oh my god, he's gone wide. He's gone wide.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So you
it's
see
fine,
Jimmy
it's fine.
stressing
Vince is
every
gonna
little
win.
tenth.
Come on, Vince! Come on,
What
Vince!
a win in
Come
Creator
on.
Series!
First win for Vince. Come on!
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Love it. Love it. Super, super wholesome stuff. Absolutely awesome. Congrats to Vince once again on that win. Beautiful move. Obviously, overtake of the week. In terms of more of the week, though, it has to go to Tom 97, though, doesn't it? I mean, Adam's got a good excuse, right? He's in a weird rig that he's just set up. Didn't get much practice. Tom 97's in his home rig. I know he's just had a channel issue this week, but I'm afraid that doesn't affect your driving. Too many bottles in this race. It's got to be Tom 97, hasn't it? I mean, he gave himself a drive-through, for God's sake, by just speeding. That's the most basic of mistakes you can make. So Tom 97's got to be more of the week. Not sure which clip. Just pick one of the various clips we saw of Tom 97 today for which one in particular. But yeah, there we go. That was the Clipbook this week for Creator Series. Hopefully a little bit of a shorter one this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Wasn't too much controversial, honestly, this week. There was a lot of bottles and a lot of incidents, but it wasn't too much controversy this week. There was no real fallouts or drama, or it wasn't too bad at all, which is absolutely awesome to see. But yeah, honestly, I'm a bit sad that I wasn't in my home rig, because I think that could have been an awesome race. Hopefully I'd have been near the front as well if I was at home, and it really looked like good fun fighting at the front with those guys. So shame we got to miss out with that, but I managed to, by the skin of my teeth, bring home a P9 finish, despite my various bottles. But interestingly, my bottles weren't really... I mean, there was a half spin that was probably caused by the wheel, getting used to the wheel. My other balls were brain farts. Just choosing to go high up on the banking, which I knew was bad, and then just going too much on the curb. That's not really anything to do with the wheel. That was just brain farts. If I didn't have those, I think I'd have been P4 at the finish. Maybe even 5 at the podium, but I don't think I could have been higher than that realistically on that reel. But yeah, I really enjoyed it though. It was good fun to race on a bit more of an entry-level setup, because it was only £300, that wheel and pedals combo. And honestly, it was fine. Honestly, my pace wasn't too bad. Obviously, I wasn't up there to my normal pace, but the pace was better than I expected. I think I was only a few tenths off my normal pace at home. Bear in mind, I've had thousands of hours in my current rig and wheel combo. So to say I've only had probably 2 hours of time total on that rig. I was honestly happy with my pace, and it was really good fun. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, I should give a special shout out as well to Creator Series for putting these clips together. I always forget to do this, so my bad. But Creator Series literally pay someone to put these clips together. So thank you, Creator Series, for getting all these clips together for these clip books. So give a shout out to those down in the comments.